You're listening to Parasearch UK Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Spirit Dimension with your host, Kerry Greenaway, right here on Parasearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to The Spirit Dimension. My name is Kerry Greenaway and I do like to bring you something a little bit different on a Sunday. Last Sunday I had Dr. Cal Cooper in the studio talking about positive psychology and looking at it from an academic scientific perspective and what it was from that angle. Now tonight I've got one of my favourite people into the studio with me, the lovely Lisa Michaels. Good evening, Lisa. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. Good. All is good.
Excellent. Well,
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Always welcome. Now, after last week's show, talking to Dr. Cal Cooper, it really resonated in regards to some of the things he was saying in regards to this is actually what a lot of life coaching and life inspirational speakers are doing out there. There's been a huge explosion of that over the last 5 years, I would say, in regards to that. And you work in this way yourself, and the techniques you use are actually positive psychology, aren't they?
Yeah, basically it is. I mean, it's a form, it's a transformation going from negative thought into positive thoughts, and a lot of this can be done through meditation. And I'm a big advocate for meditation. I do a lot of workshops. And actually what meditation does is it can help you raise your vibration, which is making suggestive thoughts and changing your negative patterns and behaviours to positive. It's also able to bring you in awareness to a negative thought, because a lot of the time we're sort of living our lives unconsciously and we don't know what we're actually saying. We're not actually connecting with what we're saying, but it comes in as a thought, which is an energy. And that energy then goes out there into the world. And whether it's positive or negative, you know, that's going to affect other people. Mm-hmm. You know, be careful what you're thinking, be careful what you're saying, because it's either you that's listening or somebody else's. So if you're giving, for example, constructive criticism, you know, or criticism of any sort, you just want to make sure that it's positive and constructive rather than negative, you know, criticism. If you want to help somebody to transform their thoughts, it's giving them the tools to do that. And through meditation is probably the key tool to use in order for you to raise your vibration to help you with positive thought. For example, affirmations and mantras are what I work on to help people. And you make these suggestions when they're in a sort of like a meditative state, bringing them into what's called theta state. And then the subconscious mind is very open to suggestion.
That's right. That's actually one thing that was brought up last week, was almost like the reprogramming of your mind. Yeah. Because we have something which you class as, it's called the mind monkeys, you call it, don't you?
Yeah, we call it the monkey mind, yes. Yeah, that naughty monkey, drunken monkey, we call it.
And it's that negative mindset of, I'm not worthy, why would they want me? Yes. I'm not.
Doubt.
I'm
fear.
Stupid. Yeah. I can't make enough money. I'm never going to make it. You know, all of those kind of things.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah. All of those things come under this banner of the monkey mind, you know, as Lisa calls it. And it's about changing that, isn't it, into a positive mindset.
Yes. I mean, like I said, the ways of doing that, there are different ways. You can either, if you're waking up in the morning and you're having to, let's say there's a lot of screaming going on and you're rushing to work or whatever, and you're starting your day off negatively, then you'll probably find that most of the rest of your day will be negative. And I've got something which I offer all my clients, which is when you sleep, before you go to sleep, you repeat an affirmation. And these affirmations can change your thoughts, because you're going to be marinating for 8 hours or 6, 7 hours at night. And therefore that will change the pattern of how you wake up as well. So you listen to these affirmations at night, which also can, because obviously you're more in a rested, receptive sort of position, because obviously the distractions of the day have started to dwindle a little bit and you are just more receptive. So doing the affirmations at night for the next day really can set you up to have a good next day. But you have to do it consecutively. You've got to do it, discipline yourself to do it every day, and then you'll find a momentum will pick up and things will start to change in your life and become a lot more positive than negative. And there are little ways of doing this, like implementing it into your life. And again, it's through suggestive, meditative ways of doing this, from negative to positive. And it definitely does work. It's amazing actually how it does work.
That's interesting, because a lot of people go, get up in the morning, do your affirmations in the mirror, that sort of thing. But you suggest this to start this of a night. So you do your nighttime routine.
Do it at night, yeah.
Settle down into your bed, and then do them.
As in the words of Wayne Dyer, I mean, he's the most amazing person that I listened to all of his YouTube and lectures over the years, read many books of his, and he said, if you marinate, you're marinating in at night, and if you've got the worries on your shoulders at night, or you're being woken up in the middle of the night by worry or by anxiety of some sort, then obviously you're sleeping on that. You're actually marinating in that worry. So yes, go to bed, and before you go to bed, at least an hour before, you want to be listening or watching something nice. So you're not going to be watching a horror movie an hour before you go to bed, because that will play out in your dream, or it will play out in your mind. Something subconsciously will get hold of that negativity, because negativity is very strong, especially as an energy. So we need 3 times positive energy to counteract the negative. So it's quite a lot if you think about it. Plus you've got negative news around, you've got negative affluence, you've got negative influences around you sometimes, not only with just maybe in family life, the way people speak to each other. Like I say, it's very unconscious, but when you are starting to become conscious about your words and how you're thinking, you can definitely and very, very quickly change your vibration from being negative and a low energy into a much higher energy than feeling low and down about something, because we've become aware of that negative thought.
That's right. Every emotion has an energy signature, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So
we are energy beings.
That's right. So things like anxiety, things like depression, things like jealousy, grief, all of those are quite a lower vibrational, aren't they? We class them as a lower vibration.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the scale of consciousness, David Hawkins actually developed this in the 1970s, and he came out with a scale of consciousness. And at the bottom, you've got grief, you've got shame, you've got guilt, you've got fear, you've got all the lower emotions, you've got doubt, you've got resentment. So all of these lower emotions bring you down on the scale of consciousness. So if you're residing mostly down at that lower scale, then yes, of course, you're going to feel low most of the time. That's going to bring you down into a depression. But then, like I say, there are ways that you can implement things into your daily life. I mean, you don't have to sit and meditate like the yogis in the mountains for 10 days at a time. You do it, you do it gradually. You do it as a process, as like you would actually going to the gym. I mean, if you were to go to the gym and you wanted to get a nice svelte body, or you wanted to tone up, you're not going to expect to go once and then be that bodybuilder or be that, person that enters into a competition. You're going to have to go a few times to get the momentum going to start seeing your body transform. It's the same with our mind. Our mind has a muscle, so if you're going to use it positively, you're going to be giving it positive affirmations or positive thoughts, they then counteract the negative thoughts. And so I'm not saying you're never going to have a negative thought, but what it does do is it just makes you become so aware of the negativity around you, around what you're saying to yourself and around others. So therefore you can change what you're saying and what you're thinking. And just by becoming aware.
It does actually increase your ability to bounce back from that negativity, that
Absolutely.
Negative emotion better, doesn't it? You know, I mean, rather than I hate to use the word wallow, but staying in that lower vibrational and then gradually coming back up. If you've built up this resilience for your mind muscle, you find yourself being able to bounce back quicker from what life does hit you out on a negative front.
Absolutely. And that's what meditation can do for you. It can help with your cognitive resilience. It can help with your stress levels. It can help you calm your mind. It can help with so many thinking traps that we tend to spiral into. You know, when you're again in that environment, again, it's to do with influence as well that's around you. You know, if you're surrounded by people that are quite negative and are quite, maybe they're jealous of something else out there, or, you know, you've got these people that you may be surrounded with, then it's going to be very hard for you to come out of that. However, nothing is impossible. Even the word impossible means impossible. So it's just the way you look at the world, and it changes your perspective on the world by meditating, and it helps you to just become so much more aware of your thoughts and your feelings and your mind. And that's what we are. We're not just a walking, mind. We have feelings and emotions, and that's what controls what we attract into our lives. If you think about emotion, the actual word emotion means energy in motion. So because your thoughts are energy, and then you're giving them an emotion, which is energy in motion. So therefore, whatever is backing your thoughts, let's say you're going on a date or something and you're very nervous about your date, and you're thinking, oh, this is not going to work out. Well, that's an emotion, isn't it? So that emotion backing up the thoughts that you've got, you might not have a very nice date when you go out on your date, and you think, oh, that was a waste of time. But if you're not set up in the first place positively, then you'll find that the things that follow that are going to be very negative, and that's what you'll attract. That's how it works. It's the laws of the universe. It can be no other way. You are responsible for what you attract with your thoughts, your emotions and feelings.
Is there a danger, I suppose I want to call it, in being over positive?
No such thing.
You throwing it in there, you know.
What? Yeah, no, there's no danger as to being too positive. What it does do is it can help you focus much more on what you do want, and not listening to, say, naysayers that might, if you wanted to do something, let's say you change your job or whatever, and you've got these people surrounding you, and they'll say, why are you changing your job? What are you doing? You've got other people that have their projected fears are coming onto you, but they won't realise that. They are totally unaware that they're projecting their own fear onto you. For example, if you were to move jobs and you're going for this other job, which you're thinking, oh, I know I'm going to do well in this, and you're very positive thinking about it, but then you've got those naysayers near you saying, how do you think you're going to do this? Kind of thing. And it's not listening to that negative, not only self-chatter, but the other people that are around you that may be not intentionally trying to bring you down, but they're just projecting their own fear of what they feel. So no one's to blame here for the negativity that's around, and therefore also the positive thinking. There's no such thing as overly positive thinking, because there's so much negativity to remove out the way. It's just becoming aware, and you can keep ascending and rising your vibrations. The more you rise your vibrations, the better you feel. The more your life will be in alignment with your heart space. And that's what it's all about. This is what actually living in this life is all about. It's living and listening to your heart, because your heart knows what you want. But a lot of the time we're very logical. We live what's called fifth sensory lives. So we're only really tapping into the five senses that we have. But we do have a sixth sense, just like dogs do. Mm-hmm. But it's about working with that and listening to that inner guidance that we all have, which is our intuition.
And that's one of
which is the non-logical side of us.
Yeah, and that's really hard, isn't it, to key into? So let's talk about the affirmations and mantras that that step it back. Talk about affirmations and mantras to start with. what sort of things can you do to talk about or talk to yourself about that change it from a negative into a positive?
Right. So, positive affirmations and mantras, it depends on how you go about this, because you can write down a journal of something and put down these positive affirmations. And if you write things down, they really do solidify things. They can help with your self-esteem. They can help with the success of your day. I, for example, like to write down my gratitude journal. Plus, I do write affirmations down of what I'm grateful for. And the more you're grateful for things, the more things the universe will send you to be thankful for, and will send you more things that, will be sent to you in positive alignment with what you're wanting. So again, by exercising affirmations, again, it's the way that they're written. If, for example, you was to say, let's say I wanted to lose some weight, there's no point in writing an affirmation down saying, I want to lose weight, but only through this way, or I don't want to lose weight, I only want to lose weight on my arms, or I only want to lose weight on my stomach. Or you can't write an affirmation like that. An affirmation, intentional affirmation, has to be written in a positive way, and it mustn't have a negative connotation to it. If it does, then it sends a mixed signal to the universe, and therefore you won't get what you're wanting, because you've already told the universe, well, but I don't want this and I do want that, and the only thing that the universe responds with is yes. It cannot distinguish between what's right and what's wrong for you. So by you going about your affirmation, again, let's say, for example, you had an affirmation for, self-esteem. I want to feel good about myself now. That's what you would write. I'm in the process of feeling good about myself and uplifted. You wouldn't write down, I don't want to feel like low self-esteem about myself, because you've already put the don't in there, and that's a negative affirmation. You've got a negative in there. So it's how things are written as well. It's how things are thought out. You have to carefully think these affirmations out.
And that's where journaling becomes quite key, because you can start seeing patterns of your mental thought patterns, and then start recognizing where you're negative about things. To start with, this is when you very first start. When you start writing, you sit down, you write down, and then you read it back and you think, actually, that's quite negative.
Yeah.
And then you can recognise that and start changing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Louise Hay was the queen of affirmations, and Louise Hay was also an amazing woman who healed herself from cervical cancer when she was in her 50s. And she changed the way she ate nutritionally. And she did so much work, positive thinking and affirmation work. And I don't know if some of you have maybe heard of Louise Hay, but she's in obviously the States, but she's passed away about 2 years ago. But she elongated her life and then helped many others to help their lives to get over things that were negative. But she did a lot of positive affirmation work and then wrote down lots of things like, for example, I deserve the best and I accept it now. All things like that. All my needs and desires are met before I even ask for them. It's just lots of different, that's a quote by Louise Hay. Mm-hmm. She's a really amazing woman who basically was a forward thinker, an amazing woman for her time, who really did channel how that your thoughts become things, and that what you think about, you become.
She left a massive legacy as well, didn't she, Louise Hay?
Massive, yeah. Massive.
With the
we've got
Hay House Publications, isn't it? Or Hay House Media.
Yeah, and Wayne Dyer also had a big piece of that as well, that he was, part of as well. And there's many other people now that continue that legacy of hers. So, to be leaving that behind you, does amazing work, and it's for us, I guess I call us light workers, to just continue with that work, and just really get as many people as possible to be aware of this, that can help you when you think, positive thoughts, and how it can change your mindset and how it can improve your life and raise your vibration by just the way you think, because you are what you think. If you're thinking, I can't do this, I'm useless, I'm terrible at this, that's what's going to happen. But if you're thinking, no, I got this, I can do this, then that's also what's going to happen. So, you know, you believe what you think. So it's a case of these beliefs become our truths. So the truth is something quite strong in us. So when you believe something to be true, that becomes then, it's an emotion that becomes behind it, because when you think something is true, there's emotion, which is energy in motion behind that truth. So it's quite powerful. So whatever you believe that's true for you, you need to address, because if you're thinking that I'm never going to do this, or I'm never going to be able to accomplish this, and that's true for you, then you need to reevaluate what your thoughts are and what your truths are and what your beliefs are.
And journaling is one way of getting to the bottom of that, so you can get the right affirmations
for you.
It certainly is.
Yes, it is. It is, because everybody has their own stuff, you know, that they need to address, and everybody has different thought patterns. Although they're quite similar in different ways, they are on the lower consciousness scale. If you're not aware of your thoughts, then yes, you know, it's about just honing in and becoming aware of your inner being, which is connecting with your heart space. It's connecting with your emotions and what you're feeling about a particular thing. Like some people have got feelings around money, for example, like if they believe that I can't attract money, or I'm having difficulty attracting the amount of money that I want to earn, or whatever, then you're going to have that difficulty. You know, I believe for example, if you believe that you're going to have there's a great affirmation actually that I give quite a lot of my clients, which is, I attract abundance in all ways from everywhere, you know, anywhere, it doesn't matter. And that can be anything, you know, because you could get money from somebody that left you money from a death maybe, or it could be the council that you overpaid tax on. It's knowing that money can come from anywhere, or you might even win the lottery. But because there is so much doubt of that happening, the momentum of that happening doesn't transpire. So it's the creative energy that you can create around attracting more money and actually developing, let's say, if you wanted more money. You know, people have got issues around money, about, I'm not worthy of the money that I want to attract, or, you know, so it covers so many things, affirmations. It can cover so much. I do what's called disempowering belief, one-to-one work, and we get to the core of where your money beliefs are. And by giving you these affirmations, we get to the core of where your affirmations, where they're really stuck in. Again, it might be the fact that you were told as a kid, we can't afford that. So therefore you think, I can't afford anything, because that's what you've been told as a child. But that doesn't have to be your adult life. You know, I can't afford that. But again, because you've been influenced that between the ages of 0 and 7, we're very open and receptive at that age. We're like sponges. So we tend to, that gets lodged in our subconscious, and it becomes a belief. I can't afford that, because you're told it as a kid. We can't afford that, you know, or something. So therefore that can become your life, like, and you struggle with money for the rest of your life. But there is a way of getting rid of these disempowering beliefs and getting to the core of them and removing them to a point where you're more neutral, and then you create the beliefs that you want to with the space that you've created. And that's all very, very possible.
So that's the first kind of steps, isn't it? The journaling. See, when we talk journaling, I think the word itself kind of puts people off, right? Journaling, right? And they kind of expect you have to sit there and write for hours and, you know, write loads of stuff.
You don't have to write.
You don't, do you? You could do as much or as little, even on a scrap of paper. It's fine. Just get those thoughts down so you can start working out your mindset patterns.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, listen, you don't want to force yourself just to journal. You know, to write in a diary every day, maybe sometimes you might not be feeling it. And again, it's just a case of writing down positive things that you want to be and say to the universe that you're grateful for, and the things that you want to attract into your life. So, you know, you can only do it really when you're, again, when you're in that space. You know, if you're going to do it, if you're rushed, or if you're feeling that you are being forced to do it, then no, I wouldn't suggest you do that, because obviously you're going to probably write down some negative things. But you want to be in a space where you've got plenty of time, no distractions, and you feel that I really want to do this, because I know if I do this, I'm going to help myself. I'm going to help raise my vibration, and even just do it as a game. I think a lot of the time, if we feel that we have to do it because it's hard work, then we tend to switch off, don't we? Anything that feels like hard work, we tend to go back off, don't we? We don't want to do it. But if you do it as let's have a game with it, let's have a little play with it. Because if you think about children, how they think, they don't expect anything, do they? And they live their lives very open. Mm-hmm. And when we were kids, things were so different. You just thought that anything is possible, until you started to get bombarded with, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. And you can't. And it's like, well, why can't I, do that? And no, you're not clever enough for that. And you can't do. And it's the way that we're brought up. So again, affirmation work or journaling is only to be done when you feel you really need to do this. And like I say, just have fun with it. If you play with it, you're almost saying to the universe, I am serious about this, but I want to have fun with this. I want to see, and only start with small bit of journaling. Just do one a week or something. Just, even in your lunch hour, you can do it. It doesn't matter when you do it. But like I say, even if you do it at night before you go to bed for the next day, you can set an intention to journal and then say, I'm going to write a few words. It doesn't have to be loads. It doesn't have to be an essay. Just do what you want to write. Just even if it's just one sentence, it's something. And then focus on that. Go to bed on that, because when you wake up, you'll have a much better day start to your morning, and to the rest of your day. It will unfold much, much better when you sleep on positive, empowering thoughts. And if you've journaled the night before, like I say, you don't have to do it every day. Just do it when you feel the need and to become aware of your thoughts. And it just brings you back into the present time, because a lot of us, we're either worried about the future or we're either concerned about what happened in the past.
Yeah.
And it's about bringing you into the now, bringing you into the present time. Focus on now, because what you do now affects your next moment. What you do now affects your tomorrows. So why not just focus on now? And that's what, again, meditation and affirmation work can do for you. It can bring you into the present time.
I agree. Let's talk about meditation. That's like a natural progression. That's the next step. Now, there are loads and loads of different types of meditation that you can do out there. But I think most people have an image of the lotus position, sitting there cross-legged with your fingers sort of like sprawled out, very Indian-fied, with like little circles made with your finger and your thumb, and giving it om and all that. But there are so many different methods, aren't there, of meditation?
There are so many different methods. Basically, what meditation is prayer. So, you can do that any way you want. If you're just sitting in a chair with sitting up straight, and you've got your hands open onto your lap facing upwards, that's fine. You don't have to get into no lotus position. Like I said, you don't have to go into the mountains of the yogis and do it, for 30 days on end to get where you want to get to. Again, meditation can be done weekly. It doesn't have to be done every day if you don't want to, because sometimes you don't feel like doing meditation. Again, it's like going to the gym. It's using a muscle. So your body will tell you, your mind will tell you when you need to meditate. Your body will say to you, your mind will say to you, don't you think you need to just maybe take 5 or 10 minutes out, mate, because you're feeling a bit like low. And your inner being will speak to you. And I think what's now happening is that we're starting to become so much more aware of our feelings and our thoughts that are, if they're in a perpetual sort of behaviour where you're getting the same results over and over again and you want something different, it's about to going within yourself and saying, right, how do I change this? How do I improve myself? I need to work on myself. So, the only way you're going to do this is through meditation, which will help you to raise your vibration, and you'll learn a way of connecting with your heart space. And then when you connect with your heart space, then you can pretty much be anything you want to be, because your heart is speaking to you and you're listening to your heart rather than listening to the outside of you, other influences, or because we tend to not be able to make our own decisions a lot of the time. We'll ask the person next to us, what do you think? And they'll give their opinion, but it might not be good for you. In fact, majority of the time, it's not very good for you, but it's good for them. But we tend to not really be able to make our own decisions about things. And that's because we're not listening to our hearts. And we need to listen to our hearts a lot more, because it puts you into alignment of what you really, truly want.
I know, how many times do you ask somebody for their advice or their opinion, they give it, and then you sit there and you look at them and you think, there's no way you would do that. There's no way you would do that yourself. No.
Why did I even ask? But we tend to ask for an opinion, and it's now about connecting with what you need to do for yourself, because you have a high self which is connected to your heart space, and it's connected to your inner being and how it works. And therefore, the more you listen to yourself, the better your life will be, because you're in alignment with your life when you listen to your heart and your feelings about things. But if you're suppressing them, or you're going outside of yourself to ask that person that you might have known them a long time, and again, even our parents will ask our parents' opinion, and again, it might not always be what you would go with, but it's good for them, but it's not maybe good for you. So you better start listening to yourself, because you'll have a much better alignment to yourself if you listen to yourself rather than listening to the outside of outside people. And I'm not being horrible, but they're just people that do want to help you, but their intentions are not, they're unconscious as well. So if you're asking someone who's unconscious to their own feelings, then you're sort of paddling down a stream and without a paddle. You're paddling in a boat without a paddle, because you've asked that person who's also unconscious as well. So
so when
you're sort of no better off.
Yeah, when you first sit down to meditate, a lot of people say they can't calm their mind, that they'll go off in tangents. So they'll sit there and they'll go, right, I'm going to have a little meditation, and and then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh damn it, I forgot to buy the milk, or I've got to change the washing over, or lots of like little insignificant thought, or in fact it's generally the things you've forgotten that start popping up, throughout the day,
because you've given yourself that space. So what I normally do is, when anybody comes to me first time, I normally say to them, give yourself at least 4 weeks of consistent meditation. And normally there's 20 minutes of meditation, and like I say, the idea is that you just want to focus on nothing. Try and focus on nothing. It is very difficult, because you will have, these thoughts that come in that are going to distract you, and they're going to be like, oh, I forgot to take the washing out, or I forgot to do this, and I must ring Susie tomorrow because I forgot to ring Susie today. So, so you've got all these silly little niggly things that can really distract you. But what actually that is that's your monkey mind taking over. And you're allowing that to happen. So in meditation, within about 4 to 6 week period, you get to learn how to master your mind. And instead of those thoughts taking over the meditation, which takes time to do. Again,
it's like a long time. I agree with you. Yeah. It takes a long time to master that.
It takes time, and you've got to be consistent. And like I say, 4 times at least, 4 minimum times. If you were to do it, say you did a 21-day challenge, I promise you, even after 2 weeks or even after a week, you will find, if you were to do a little 10-minute meditation every day for, let's say, 21-day challenge, you will, within a week, start to get rid of that monkey mind. You really will, because it's very, very powerful. But a lot of us won't do that because we don't know how to sit with ourselves. And I would always suggest maybe to start off meditation is by going to a guided meditation that's done in a group, so you're with other like-minded people who can explain what's going on. And if you feel that your mind is wandering throughout, the whole process, and you think, oh, did I actually get anything out of that? Is there any benefit to me? Well, actually, you don't realise, actually, because you've already started the process. You've already set the intention to do that. So a momentum does take over, and the universe will help you to, calm your mind further. And then you get to a stage where you're wanting more, and you get that sort of inner voice saying to you, have you meditated today? Or don't you think you better meditate? And it's like, oh, it's like going to the gym. Like I said, don't you think you better go to the gym today? You haven't done it for a couple of days. And that's what happens. So it becomes a habit, and the idea is to implement it as a habit rather than as a chore. or rather than as, oh, I have to do this, don't I? Because it won't become like that. If you do stay and stick with it, you will start to calm your mind, and your thoughts that are coming in to distract you will start to dissipate, I promise you. But you've got to be with someone. I think doing it on your own is a really hard thing. You know, when I first started out, I went to a meditation class, which I did for a good 6 months, and I went consistently every week, and I loved it because I got so much benefit from it, and that's when I decided to then implement it into my work that I was doing.
That's true. See, I do a method called active meditation because I find physically, yes, I know I seem to sit at my desk a lot, everybody, but I need to move because I get very...
you can do like walking meditation.
Exactly. And actually, you see it a lot in the gym, funnily enough, where people are focused, concentrated. They're not actually thinking, they're working, physically working, and they get into what's known as the zone. It's just another name for that mental state of consciousness where you're focusing on nothing other than your body's taking over, you're going through mechanical muscle repetitions, and your mind is clear. And you can meditate. That's a form of meditation. People don't realise it. But that you can do it in so many different ways.
I mean, to be honest, you are sending out rockets of thought all the time. And whether that be positive or negative, you are constantly, to be honest, asking the universe for stuff. It's impossible not to. The only thing that meditation can help you with is by purposefully asking for the things that you want rather than the things you don't want. And that's what I mean that meditation can help you with. And there's so many different ways you can do meditation. Like you say, you can do walking meditation. You can do, obviously, it through yoga. It's through yoga a lot. So, again, a flow of meditation that you can do. You can do it through even in the shower. You know, you can literally do a meditation. You can imagine doing a meditation of, let's say, my day begins and ends with gratitude and joy. And there's your affirmation. And you just focus on that. And then you wash all the things that are away from the day or from the night before that going down a plug hole. You know what I mean? If you're
washing that negativity away, you're breathing
and
in
that's
the
the way of meditating.
And when you're at the gym,
and
sorry to interrupt, but sort of going back to the gym analogy, you're thinking what your mind is doing is you're going, I can do that next rep, I can lift that next weight, I can push forward on my time and do my personal best or whatever. Those are positives. I can, I will, I'm going to. They're positives. And so you're focused on the positive mindsets of, all right, so it's a body achievement, but that's also a life thing as well, because when you come up against difficulties, your mindset is going to be, I can, I will, I'm going to, rather than I can't, absolutely. I'm not going to make that next rep, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. But you're not. Your
exercise is really good.
Yeah, very much so. And you talked about yoga as well, and again, it increases your physicality and your flexibility and all that. But how many people have said that particular form of meditation is incredible for their mental mindset as well?
Yes, it is. And like I say, it's about being with yourself, learning that you can do this. It's a journey. It's not a quick fix. It's not I'm going to be feeling great the next day straight away. No, it's going to be a process, you know. But if you keep up that process, you keep up with that consistency, as you would in the gym or as you would going to yoga, you can do meditation. Like I say, and continue with that, you're going to get a great bit of benefit from it, and you're going to really change your life. And I promise you, you'll start attracting amazing things, synchronicities, things that will just be lovely, that you'll just start to experience better things, because you'll be, like I say, you'll be more in alignment with your feelings. And it's all about your feelings and the emotions that are behind our thoughts. And that's where it all comes down to that. It all comes down to connecting with what your heart wants, and meditation brings you back to that place instead of listening to the logical ego part of your mind all the time. It shifts it aside, is able to shift it aside, and some people take longer than others. You know, there's no quick fix, there's no one fits all type of thing. Everybody's different, but you know, it's a case of persistency, and consistency is going to get you there. Disciplining yourself and just implementing it, let it become a part of your life. there's no such, if you don't let it become a part of your life and you're going to consistently struggle, then you've got to do some changes. You've got to make some changes to your life. Otherwise, you're not going to have benefit from things. You've just got to keep with it. Like I say, if you go to the doctors for, let's say, you've got a cold or whatever, you've got an infection, and they're going to give you some tablets. They're going to say to you, take these tablets for 2 weeks. You've got to take them consistently for 2 weeks, because that's the measure of time given for you to get better. Sometimes it doesn't work, doesn't always work, but that's the time given. And again, with meditation, whichever way you want to do it, you just have to implement it into your life and just keep doing it. Again, you don't have to do it every day. Just do it when you need it. You feel you need it. Give yourself that 5-minute break, even if it's in a lunch hour. If you can't do it in the morning because you're rushing around, then do it at lunchtime or something. Or when you go out for a break in the fresh air, just close your eyes and just connect with yourself. Even that 2-5 minutes can make major difference in your life.
So let's talk about visualization, because when you do a guided meditation, you tend to take somebody on a journey through visualization, don't you?
Yeah.
So how do you do that for your clients?
Right. So we basically focus on visualizing, for example, things that they want to come into their experience. So I take you to a place where you're feeling that you're safe, and that I want you to be extravagant. I want you to not imagine that there's any restriction at all of what you're wanting. And when you go to that sort of, I call it like a childlike place, because again, any kids, if you speak to children, or if you remember when you was a kid, you thought amazing things can happen. You believed in the magic of the universe. You really did. You believed in all this magical stuff. You were told that Father Christmas is real and everything like that. So everything was magical. And then, like I say, as you get older, it becomes very sort of disempowering as to what's about. And then you get influenced by the negativity, and then that sort of blocks you from having that creativity and that inspiration that we've all got, we can all tap into. So what I do is I guide you into a fairy tale type place of where you want your life to be. And there is no restrictions. I want this to be done with absolute no restrictions. So basically, I take you to that place where you feel safe to create. It's the creative energy part that we go into and visualize, basically. And some people do have visualization issues where they can't visualize something, but there's such an easy way to get over that. Most people can visualize their front door. Mm-hmm. So if you start off with visualizing your front door, all the details of it, then you can normally visualize the rest of the things that you want. It's just guiding your mind to receive in your mind's eye pictures of what you want to do. And they'll come in if you allow them to come in and you don't force it. And again, this is something to be learned and something to go with. It won't maybe happen straight away. Some people it can happen straight away. Again, like I say, everybody's different. But kids are so visual, when you think about children, they're very visual, because they can't really explain things at a young age. So kids are very visual. They'll write on a piece of paper a picture. So you can do that with your mind. So it's about getting back to that childlike state that we were once in, and just becoming creative as to how you want your life to be, and start to manifest it through thought and bring it to you. See yourself of what you want to be doing, of what you want to be, who you want to be with. Smelling, tasting, touching, bring all the senses in, give it some emotion and feeling. Like, how would you feel if you'd won £1 million or whatever? You'd feel bloody brilliant. You'd feel elated. You'd feel... So when you bring emotion into that visualization, see the money coming to you, see the money filling up into your bank, or let's say you wanted to attract a lover. See that man in your bed next to you, see his clothes in your wardrobe. So as I'm telling you this, you're seeing this. So, and you're very receptive when you visualize in meditation, because you're not distracted by anything else. You can really focus on details and smell his aftershave. What does he look like? What color eyes does he have? What are you doing together? So it's about really visualizing everything and bringing it to you. with the visualization. It's really powerful, really, really powerful.
When I first started doing the meditation thing, it was in a psychic circle. It was to raise your vibration and connect with your guides. Yeah, and one of the visualizations there was go to a beach, walk up the cliff, blah blah blah, that sort of thing, and you end up in a meadow and see what. Yeah, exactly, same sort of thing, but it's raising your mental. Same sort of thing, but going into your next level. So it's a visualization of stepping up into that, through the door, up the staircase, wherever it be, and then seeing what comes to you. So, in regards to, say, a spirit connection, because I know you're spirit connected too.
Yes, I am.
The things that come to you are the things that spirit bring to you in a meditation are the things that you don't put there, right?
Yes, correct.
So you'll be going through your visualization process in a guided meditation or a normal meditation, whatever that be, talking yourself through that process, because you can do that too, or have it guided by somebody else. And then it's those little things, like I think the first time I did that, butterflies were there. There was butterflies all around me. I hadn't put those there. That's not what I hadn't visualised butterflies, but all of a sudden there was hundreds of butterflies around me. And I was going, gosh, there's butterflies here. And that was a representation that the spirit were coming into my meditation. Yes, they weren't physical beings that I could talk to, but it was a connection, and it was a connection I recognised because I hadn't put it there.
No, that's right. So there is what I call it, it sort of goes beyond visualization, and it's connecting with and trusting that whatever you're receiving, again, it's allowing. And this is all about allowing you to receive. And if you want to work as a channel through the universe, you can't be frightened of it. You can't be scared of it. You can't be in fear of it. So by you going to that next level and not being in fear of it, you will receive amazing things, and you will connect much deeper with the universe, and you'll be sent things and be able to do psychic work. And this is all about just really allowing. So, and it can take people some time, to come to that stage. And some people don't even want to get to that stage, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that everybody that does meditation is going to become a psychic.
No.
Everybody can. There are some of us that can sense energy much, much more than others. I'm an empath, for example. I'm a physical empath, so I can sense energy in others. If someone's got a bad knee or a bad neck ache or whatever, a backache, and it has a metaphysical meaning as to why they've got that, because they're obviously resistant to something. So, because it's a negative energy that I sense. So, and I can see and feel auras and blocks as well. So that's something that I've developed over a period of years. But it's only because I've gone to the level of allowing myself to receive things from the universe that are beyond just what I want to attract, which is like nice things that I want to experience, nice holidays with my family, or whatever, or doing workshops with people and helping others. It goes a lot further than that, and it's just allowing you to go to that next level, but it's not being in fear of it, to allow it in, so that you can work with the universe and even bring comforting messages to other people, or connecting with, the spirit world and receiving messages either for yourself or for others. And that's a pretty amazing experience, which I experienced about 3 years ago on a regular basis, and continue to do so. So, yeah, I decided that, okay, now I'm happy to be a channel through, I'm happy to work with the universe now. But it was a decision that I had to make, and it's a big responsibility as well, because you're helping other people receive messages, and you're the bridge, basically. So there's a big responsibility, and you don't want to get things wrong as such, but you don't want to give people false hope either, and you don't want to give them a negative hope either. So it's how you interpret that energy that's coming through, and there's all different energies that can come through. You've got them, they all come from source, as long as they're all coming from source, which is God, or you might want to call it universe, or grace, whatever you want to call it. But it's a higher power. It's an intelligent, infinite intelligence that you can't, energy that you cannot really, to be honest, even give words to. But it's amazing when it does come in, and it gives you this knowingness of something that's there, that's been planted there, not by you, but by this higher power.
By that something that's out there.
Yeah.
That you
that
can't
infinite
help
power.
deny. Exactly, you can't help deny.
No, you can't. And you can't ignore it either, you know.
No.
So it is pretty amazing. Yeah. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
It is pretty phenomenal when it happens, and it won't happen every time you meditate as well. That's something you have to recognise too.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't happen every time, but
you can't force it. No, you can't force it,
and you have to allow it to flow, and then you'll start seeing things come in. And as I say, you don't expect it every time because it doesn't happen every time. But it's like you said right at the beginning, it's like a muscle that you have to develop and work.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Going back to the gym analogy, sometimes you meditate. You get you'll get a phenomenal day at the gym and you'll beat your personal best, and the next time you go, you do a mediocre performance.
You'd be weak, and you feel like crap afterwards. You think, oh well, I tried my best, but I didn't get the benefit that I felt. But you're always going to get something.
Yes.
You know, these things aren't seen. You can't see these things. You know, when you feel that you've not done your best, say in a gym or whatever, you can't really see the outcomes. It's the same with meditation. You cannot initially see it. You can't see it as a tangible thing. You know, if you've worked on your arms and you've gone into the gym and then you've had a couple of bad sessions or whatever, and you've not been able to lift as much, you're not really going to be able to see major differences. But you will definitely benefit from what you have been doing. It's subtle things that happen. As I said, as it goes along, as the journey unfolds, and as you go further and further into it, your body will start to change, your mind will start to change, you know. So it's like a muscle. It's just the same as going to the gym. It's a muscle. Things do evolve. There's no such thing as getting to the top of a meditation, you know, because it's expansion. It's literally, it's like having that ultimate body. You've got to still maintain it. So there is no end to anything. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is no end. You can't do too much meditation. You can't do too much going to the gym. I mean, you can if you hurt yourself, but you can't do too much meditation or positive thinking. There's no such thing, because it's constantly about expanding yourself. It's about evolving and expansion. And that's never ending. That's infinite, just like our souls are. So
just like the universe
you
is.
know, it's expanding. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. It doesn't rest. There's no rest in the universe. So we are the same. We vibrate as well, like the universe vibrates. Everything is a vibration. So therefore, it's on a constant move. So there's no such thing as getting to the top of a mountain and because then you're going to go, right, well, what next?
Yeah.
What am I going to do next?
But
you
it's it's that constant quest, isn't it? Like when you read like biographies of mountaineers, it was always like the next big mountain. They'd conquered one, and it was what was the next one. And
well, yeah, you're going to constantly desire to do more, because that is how we're made. We're made to ask from the universe things. Ask and it is given. You know, Esther and Jerry Hicks wrote an amazing book. Again, that was under Hay House as well. You know, ask for things. We're constantly launching rockets of desire and what we want. And the thing is, you'll never get to the top of it. You'll never be satisfied with getting to the top of something, because it's really not about the outcome. It's not about getting to the top. It's the journey along the way of who you become. It's all about the journey of who you become.
That's right. And if I remember rightly, the person that conquered Everest then went on to do Antarctica, and that was flatland, really, compared to Everest. He went on. It wasn't just about, it was how he felt throughout that journey of exploration and, you know, doing that.
What he needed to do.
Exactly, which is what always draws you on, whether that's the journey of your personal self or a goal that you wish to achieve or something like that. It's always constant. Now, quickly, there are tools that you can use through meditation. We've talked about techniques. There are tools like you can light incense, you can have sounds in the background. There are other tools, aren't there, that you can help you get into that state?
Yeah. Now, the tools to use in meditation, for example, there's a particular frequency of music that you can use for all different types of meditation, and it's really important. And most of us are quite receptive to music, you know, and I tend to, depending on what kind of meditation we're working on, you know, if you're working on getting rid of blocked energy or anything like that, we'll normally use a slower frequency, which is like a 528 hertz or something like that, to remove negative energy. If you're going, and you're going to go a lot higher as well, to help you to get to that state of where you're going to receive, again, benefit from that particular music. But there's all different waves. There's all different ways. You also can do a gong bath, which you can hear the music and someone will, and it's amazing that is actually, if you go to a gong bath, because I've been to a few myself, and they are really, really powerful because they're very good at cleansing and clearing any negative energy as well. By just listening, you literally go to these gong baths, and they are just the most incredible feeling when you come out of there quite sort of not dizzy, but you go quite high actually. If you're very receptive to energy, which I am, then they are pretty amazing actually, gone by. So there's music through that, and obviously through just generalized music, but there's also obviously incense. It's also to do with smells, touching, so you can touch an area of where your meridians are in your body to help you even go deeper into meditation. Again, if you were to touch 2 fingers from your right hand, touch your third eye when you're particularly doing a meditation, can be very powerful as well. Because we are, as I said, we're energy beings, and it's really, really powerful. You can help to release any energy from yourself by doing energy medicine. There's an amazing woman actually that I've learned some stuff from. Her name's Donna Eden from Mind Valley, and she's been around for many, many years helping people with energy medicine, and it's basically using your own body to help you to heal as well, which you can do in a meditation as well, but you can also do it without meditating, and you just do this sort of like ritual type thing in the mornings or throughout your day, on and off. And it's not terrible. Again, it's not a hard thing to do. It's just implementing things into your life that help you to heal.
And you run a meditation class, don't you, as well?
I do, yeah. I do online, and I also do. I've got meditation podcasts, but I also do workshops. I run 3 workshops in a week that I do currently. One is at my home in my energy room, and I also do that's in the Essex area, and I do another 2 also in the Essex area, which is in England. So if this is going out to anybody else other than who's staying in England, that's in Essex. But I also do online one-to-one work, and it does work still, even one-to-one work, doing group meditations as well, and online. So there's many different ways to do it. It's again how you feel is best for you.
So where can people find you, Lisa, that would be interested in working with you in this way?
Well, I can give you, if you've got a chat room, haven't you, so I can drop a link for you. And you can come if you wish to get in touch with me. I've got all the details. You can just either email me, or we can do a Skype call, seeing if you want to work together. But yeah, it's you can get hold of me. I've done work from abroad. I've worked with people in Canada and America. So nothing is impossible. Like I say, especially now in this day and age, you can work anywhere in the world, and just sit on your bum where you are, and just help people, which is great as well. So, and again, it's just also just really focusing on what people need, either as a group meditation or as a one-to-one. Everybody's got different needs, but if you come to, for example, group meditations, they're really effective. But again, if you're not in the area and you wanted to do one-to-one work, then we'd have a little sort of chat together and see if you wanted to come on board and learn some things.
Which is awesome. I've shared your links into the chat room, so if anybody's listening to this and want to get in contact with you, then just check out the chat room. It's still available after the podcast has gone live, so you can still access the details of where to find Lisa. And trust me, I've worked with Lisa myself, and it's an absolutely phenomenal experience. And she really gets to the root of the problems, most definitely. Now, before we go, quickly, I want you to talk to me about the Hunch Club, because normally we have you and Heather Prince on, who run a thing called the Hunch Club. So tell me how that's going for you.
So Hunch Club, we've changed direction in how we've done some things on there. It's an online program that we created. We do still have the membership, which we still have running. However, we've decided to do a 6-week program so people can then get quicker results by connecting with what the Hunch Club do. And what the Hunch Club is all about is intuition. So this is how to ignite the power of your intuitive mind. And it's a 6-week, very simple, easy course to follow. That should be going out probably either the end of February, beginning of March, where we'll have it on a platform. We're also going to be putting it out there, and just watch this space. So yeah, just keep aware of, if you want to check in with us, we're at thehunchclub.com. And we're on Facebook as well, if you're on Facebook. We're also on Instagram as well as the Hunch Club. And there's a picture of me and Heather on there. So again, I'll put the links. I'll send you the links if you want. And then if anybody wants to just follow us, we have a lot of helpful hints as to how to connect with your intuition, but also helpful sort of spiritual, helpful hints and things that you can do, tips of the day, tips of how to, live your life basically and much in more harmony to what you're wanting. But to actually do the course, you would have to join the links that we're going to set up when we do go out there and completely launch it, which won't, like I said, won't be until sort of beginning of March, probably.
Awesome. I'm all over it. I've already shared it into the chat room, darling, so no worries about that one.
Great. Okay, no worries.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been absolutely awesome as always, and hopefully everybody, you've got some very handy hints to get you started on positive psychology and things you can do for yourself to bring this into your life and help change your own life. So if you would like to work with Lisa, Heather or Lisa, then check out the links. Check out the links in the chat room, and you will be able to be led in the right direction. Now, don't forget, guys, next week we have shows going out pretty much every night of the week. And join me tomorrow on the Parasearch Radio group page on Facebook for a live where I give you a roundup of everything that's coming up for the week. On that note, thank you once again, Lisa. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you ever so much for having me. I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you again. Namaste.
And we bid you a very good evening and a very farewell. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.